God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. How did I get out? That's crazy. Yo, what's good? What's good? Monday morning tap in. Monday morning tap in. Shout out to my people. Shout out to my people. As you can see in the subject, as you guys can see in the subject, it is about, there's two subjects in the subject line. Two subjects. AI, but also, I'm gonna touch on AI first and then I'm gonna touch on the next subject. What I've been thinking about. But AI is the future, y'all. AI is the future. And if you're not prepared, you are in trouble. Because most of the jobs that we currently see, whether that's blue collar, white collar, entertainment, the jobs are going to be, a lot of jobs are going to be taken by AI. That's just a reality. And if we are not prepared for this transition, us common people, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. We are in trouble because the elites, they're going to be all right. The elite, they're going to be all right. But we are doomed. I appreciate everybody tapping in. Let me give you guys a second. I got to organize some things. I'm at work, but yo, what's good? Yeah, y'all. Can y'all see me? Baller. What's going on with my cam? No, MF. Yeah. Let me feel. I'm arranging my camera, y'all. I gotta. 1 second. Let me swipe. Bro. I'm back.
For Christy?
What's up, y'all? I'm back, man. I'm back. Had some technical difficulties. Technical difficulties, but I'm back. It happens, man. That's life. Yeah. Back. Shout out everybody. I'm a caffeine junkie, y'all. I am a caffeine junkie. I love caffeine. So I had to get my morning caffeine. Yeah, we good now. We good. Good. Yeah, so I'm sorry, y'all. Well, I don't want to say I'm sorry. My apologies for the technical difficulties in my camera and the app. Things happen. But as I was saying, AI is the future. And if we're not prepared to transition to that future, then we're in trouble. Now, what can we do? What can we do for the inevitable future that is coming? Because it's coming, it's inevitable. We can become self-sufficient in the best way that we can. That's all I can say. We can become self-sufficient in the best way that we can become self-sufficient. If you have any access to any type of land, it don't have to be a lot. It could be small. Start small. Or just an area. If you live in an urban environment, you can still do it, right? But if you have some land or urban, start growing your own food. Start learning how to grow your own food. I lived in Las Vegas for a period, and on my balcony of our apartment, I started to grow some kale because I wanted to see if I could do it. And I went to the local this local store where they sell seeds and pots and stuff like that and soil, and I read on how to grow like kale and stuff and how to get the soil ready, like add the compost to the soil so that the soil can be nice and fertile, and then add the seeds. And it was simple, man. It wasn't hard. Like after I did it, I set it on the balcony facing the sun. Just made sure I watered it every morning, or water it consistently. And after like a month or so, guess what? The kale was growing. I had fresh kale on my patio that I grew myself. And what did that tell me? What did that tell me? It let me know that it's possible. That if I can grow some kale, I can grow some other stuff, right? So I didn't have a large space. I just had my balcony. That's all I had. I didn't have no huge, large space. But I was able with my balcony to grow some kale. And thank you, Kurt Cobain, for Team Spirit. But I did that. So I think that what we got to start doing to prepare for this AI inevitable future is we have to start growing our own food. We have to become self-sufficient. The rich and wealthy are going to be okay. The rich and wealthy, they're going to be okay because their wealth will protect them. But us common people, we're going to be in trouble because all the jobs that we're doing, the job that I'm doing now, I'm driving a truck. This is going to be automated. I just got some coffee at Starbucks. The Bartistas are going to be automated. That's going to be the future. And when things are automated, then what are the common people going to do for work? Either they're going to have some type of social program that guarantees us a monthly income, like kind of like socialism, or I guess not so much communism, but like I guess socialism. Like everybody's going to get their monthly stipend. They're going to get their monthly allotment of food. They're going to get their monthly allotment for, their necessities. They're going to have something like that, because if they don't, then people are going to starve. I mean, they're going to starve. What are they going to do? So, in order for us to continue, we got to start to prepare. We got to be self-sufficient. It's going to be something like that. It's going to have to be something like that. If it's not something like that, then I don't know. It seems the current administration don't want it to be like that. The current administration ain't talking about something like that. The current administration is talking about getting rid of all social programs. And if that ideology continues into the future with AI, then they're just saying, hey, forget about these common people. They got to either just starve or just go out, just disappear. So, AI is the future. The way that we prepare is we become self-sufficient, start small. If you have some land, you're in a great position. Don't sell your land. If you own some land or you inherited some land, don't sell it. Do what you need to do to make it fertile, to grow your own food crops, and do that. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. Outside of that, forget about it. All the jobs are going to be taken by AI, or a majority of the jobs. Majority of them. What I'm doing right now is going to be automated. There's already self-driving cars. There's robots that deliver food. I mean, come on now. So, on to the next topic that you guys can see in the title is, do black Americans fulfill the prophecy? Now, I'm not a religious person. I don't subscribe to any religion, but I subscribe to the truth. That's all I subscribe to, is the truth, right? But I read religious books. I have read religious books. I've read the Torah, which is basically the Old Testament. I've read the Quran. I've read the Bible. And I've read these books multiple times, right? I'm reading the Bible again. But in LA, in LA, there's a large Jewish community. There's a large Jewish community in LA, more so in the Beverly Hills area and the West Hollywood area. I believe they are Ashkenazi Jews, but whenever I go to that area, you'll see them walking around. You'll see them wearing their religious garments and things like that. And I like to go to that area. I like to hang out in that area. I like to go, look at the beautiful homes and stuff like that. I like to go to the parks and stuff over there. But as I've been seeing, I've been watching some videos, and I've been reading the Bible again. I've traveled to Egypt about 5 times. The real name of it is Kemet, which means the land of black. That's what the ancient people called it when they were able to translate, to interpret the hieroglyphics. They were able to see that they had this symbol whenever that was written on the walls and stuff like that, that meant Kemet, the land of blacks. So I've been there numerous times. If you don't believe that, you can look at some of my videos. You can go down and you can see me in Kemet. You can see me there. I think I did. Yeah, I think I have one there. Yeah. If you look at my videos, if you go down, like my videos from like 2-3 years ago, you can see me in Egypt, Kemet, on riding a horse or whatever. But so I've been there numerous times, and I've read the Bible about 3 or 4 times. Going to Egypt and looking, going to the museum, the museum in Cairo, looking at the walls and all that stuff, there is no record in Egypt. As of right now, there is no record written on the walls, written in the hieroglyphics, written in the papyri. There is no record showing a people in bondage in Egypt, like is depicted in the Bible. When Pharaoh had Israel in bondage, there is no actual historical records in Egypt that depict that. And that's from firsthand what I've seen. I've been there numerous times. I have not seen a historical record depicted. Now, they depicted everything else. The Egyptians, they kept great records. They kept records of their battles. You can see pharaohs fighting against other people and putting a knife through the top of their heads, all their enemies. You can see all these great depictions of things that they were going through, the things that they were doing back in those days. But through all those depictions, you don't see any depiction of this thing, this account that is written in the Old Testament, that's written in the Torah. You don't see anything depicting that. So, reading the Bible, the Red Sea, chariots and stuff, I haven't heard about any of that. I haven't seen any of that. Like, I haven't seen no. But even if they found some chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea, what does that mean? They just found some chariots. But what I'm specifically talking about is the story in the Bible when Jacob fought with the angels, and after he fought with the angel of God, his name was changed to Israel. They went off into Egypt, and basically he became powerful, and under the Pharaoh turned on them, and the Pharaoh basically tormented them for all these. Like, there's no depiction of that story in the Bible in Egypt itself. And if you don't believe, you can go there. You can go there. You know, if you have a passport, go there and go see for yourself. Because I went there numerous times and I was able to see. So when we read that passage in the Bible, and we got to say, okay, look at that when God is speaking to Abraham, and God is saying to Abraham, know of a surety that your people will be in bondage for 400 years. I'm paraphrasing. And that they will be brought to a strange land amongst a strange people, and they will be forced to serve that people for 400 years. And after that, those 400 years, then I will come and judge that land. I will come and judge that people that made your people to serve them. Well, if we look at any group of people right now, you know, and sure, you know, what happened with Hitler and the Holocaust, that was a horrible thing. You know, that happened for a period of time. I don't believe it was 400 years that it happened, the Holocaust, but it did happen, you know, and, you know, it was a horrible thing. But when we speak specifically of what people have been in bondage and have been afflicted in bondage for 400 years, as the prophecy in the Bible, when God is speaking to Abraham, we see no other group of people that fulfill that prophecy right now in contemporary times other than Black Americans. Pharaoh after the plagues. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what the Bible says. The Bible says Moses set God's people free, but we're just talking about that prophecy. That's all I'm speaking about. Abraham was the first, was the patriarch, right? He was said to be the patriarch. He was said to be the first. So when we speak about that, just that alone, Abraham being the first, being the patriarch, if we just focus on that, because he's the patriarch of the children of Israel, right? Abraham. If we focus just on that fact and that prophecy, and we look at all the groups of people around the world right now, and we actually see historical evidence, because as I said, when we go to Egypt, there is no historical evidence showing that this account happened. None of that the Egyptians depicted, and they depicted everything. They kept records of everything. They kept records that's thousands and thousands of years old. There is no record showing that. But if we look at now and what we can see that actually happened, what they just talked about, this plantation in New Orleans being burned to the ground. That plantation held slaves. That plantation is a historical record that we can see in modern times. Right now, a plantation that is burning in New Orleans that once held a people, a black that we call Black Americans. This is historical. This is an actual fact that we can see with our own eyes. But if we see the group of people that now say that they are the children of Israel, that now occupy Israel, that now occupy, in my belief, Palestine. But you know, it is what it is. Through the Monroe Doctrine, they were given that land because they said they are the chosen people. That group of people now that occupy that area, outside of the atrocities that happened during the Holocaust, there is no other group of people outside of Black Americans that fulfill that prophecy. And like I said, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I don't ascribe to any religion. I don't ascribe to any religion. But I look at the facts and I put 2 and 2 together. They say 1 + 1 = 2, right? 1 + 1 = 2. 2 × 2 = 4. I just look at the facts and I put 2 and 2 together. I say, okay, what people fulfills this? If I'm reading this Bible and I'm reading what God is talking about to Abraham, and I say, let me put 2 and 2 together. Black Americans were bought on slave. They still have records and documents right now to this day showing these slave ships that were built to put enslaved people on the bottom of these ships. They have this available for us to see right now. They have records and historical accounts from the actual enslaved people themselves, talking about what they went through, talking about the enslavement. They have the breeding farms still to this day where they bred Black Americans. This happened over 400 years ago, right? And after that 400 years, through the transatlantic slave trade, when enslaved Africans were brought here, put on plantations, forced to work, forced to serve these people. After that, they said, okay, Abraham Lincoln freed them. But even after this so-called freedom, still Black people had to face segregation, Jim Crowism, KKK terrorism by the government that was sanctioned by the government of the United States of America, segregation, all that stuff, Jim Crow, all this stuff. So for 400 years, this particular group of people have been afflicted since they've been here. They have been afflicted. So that Bible and that narrative of what God is saying to Abraham, they are the only group right now that fulfill that prophecy, according to what I have read and studied in my understanding. You know what I'm saying? So that's just basically me putting 2 and 2 together. We can all put 2 and 2 together. We all supposed to have reasoning and critical reasoning skills That's what we're supposed to get in school, right? We're supposed to be able to interpret and understand and have critical reasoning, critical thinking skills. Well, if we have critical reasoning and thinking skills, we can look at that. We can look at that narrative, and we can see. We can say, well, who fulfills that prophecy? You did. Let's see, we read some of these comments. Hey, I appreciate everybody tapping in. As you can see, I'm at work. I'm at my slave. I'm a wage slave, so I got to, I got to make sure I stay on my job, because they are trying to get rid of me. So I need to stay on my thing. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I wish I can go longer. I wish I could sit down and actually go through all these texts that I've read and stuff like that. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Monday morning tap in. Shout out to Kurt Cobain. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.